Good evening, friends, and welcome to our nightly meditation practice. As I started last week discussing the Perfect Enlightenment Sutra, so our assignment for my Buddha Dharma University class has now progressed to chapters 3 and 4. And so I'm going to, as I did last week, share with you my reading of chapters 3 and 4, and then we can spend tomorrow night to discuss the elements that are brought forth in the Perfect Enlightenment Sutra. So with that, we will get started with paying homage to the Buddha, and then I will read the third and fourth chapters. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, this week, chapters 3 and 4. Chapters 3 is the questioning by the Bodhisattva of Universal Vision. Okay, so the Perfect Enlightenment Sutra, Bodhisattva of Universal Vision. Then the Bodhisattva of Universal Vision rose from his seat in the midst of the assembly and asked, O world-honored one of great compassion, for the sake of all the Bodhisattvas here and all the sentient beings in the Dharma ending age, please explain the gradual stages of the Bodhisattva's practice. How should one contemplate? What should one abide in and uphold? What expedient methods should one devise to guide unenlightened sentient beings to universally enable them to reach enlightenment? World-honored one, if people don't have the correct skillful means, expedient methods, and contemplation, then they will be completely confused when they hear you talk about this as illusion samadhi, and they won't be able to awaken to complete, perfect enlightenment. Please, compassionate one, explain the skillful means, expedient methods, and meditations of the provisional teachings, not only for the benefit here, for our benefit here, but for all sentient beings in the Dharma ending age. The Buddha agreed and answered the Bodhisattva of Universal Vision, saying, Newly initiated Bodhisattvas and sentient beings, now and in the future, who seek the Buddha's pure mind of perfect enlightenment, should embody right thought, letting go of illusion. To do this, they can use the Buddha's practice of samatha, that is, the Buddha's methods of calming and stabilizing the mind, so that you can see and experience its fundamental Buddha nature. To do this, a bodhisattva must be firmly established in skillful behavior, living nobly within the world, letting go of those thoughts, words, and deeds that may cause harm to you and others, and are not of the nature of spontaneous compassion and wisdom, to carry out those activities that are beneficial to yourself and others, and to carry out activities that are beneficial for others, even if you gain nothing more in return. They should seek out and rely on like-minded practitioners to help them on the path, and they should firmly establish a meditative practice in a quiet room. After their minds have been stabilized in these ways, they can practice the following meditation. The Four Elements Meditation. Be mindful of the body as the union of the four elements. Earth. This very body is of the earth element. Stability, solidity, matter. Hair, nails, teeth, skin, muscles and tendons, bones, marrow, and brain all belong to the element of earth. Water. This very body is of the water element. Moisture, softness, tears, sweat, saliva, blood, semen, and female ejaculate, fluid, all belong to the element of water. Fire. This very body is of the fire element. Warmth, coolness, temperature, all these belong to the element of fire. Air. This very body is of the air element. Movement, motion, change, breath, and breathing. All these belong to the element of wind. When the four elements are separated from one another, where is this illusory body? Where is this self that we cling to? Thus one knows that the physical body ultimately has no substance and owes its appearance to the union, the coming together, the temporary arising of these four elements. In reality, it is not different from an illusory projection conjured by a magician. It is fleeting, so do not cling to it. The six faculties. When the four elements come together, this gives rise to the six faculties: the eye and the appearance of visible objects, the ear and the hearing of sound, the nose and the smelling of scents, the tongue and the ability to taste, the body and the arising of touch and sensations, the mind and the appearance of mental objects. This combination of the four elements and the six faculties, this play of inner and outer, gives rise to the grasping at conditioned energy. In this coming together, there seems to be something that cognizes, recognizes, and labels these appearances that we call mind. But this mind is dependently arisen, based on conditions. This appearance of mind cannot exist without the six sense objects of sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and thought. When the four elements disperse, then there is nothing to be experienced. Once the elements and the sense objects disperse and vanish, ultimately there is no cognizant dependently arisen mind to be seen. When the illusory bodies of sentient beings vanish, the illusory mind also vanishes. When the illusory mind vanishes, the illusory sense objects also vanish. When the illusory sense objects vanish, the illusory vanishing also vanishes. When the illusory vanishing vanishes, that which is non-illusory remains. It is like polishing a mirror. When all these conditioned appearances disappear, its brightness and clarity appears. Both body and mind are illusory appearances. When these appearances are permanently let go of, when we cease clinging to them, grasping at them, being attached to them, purity will pervade all 10 directions. The entire universe becomes pure. Perfect enlightenment is like a mani jewel. Think of a pure, clear mani jewel. It will reflect and appear as any of the 5 colors that appear before it. Those caught up in the display of the vibrant colors will believe that the crystal clear jewel has actually become one of the colors. Likewise, although the perfectly pure nature of complete enlightenment, that radiantly clear awareness, manifests or arises as body and mind, in accordance with your karma, people cling to it and say that perfect enlightenment has body and mind. It's the same of error of perception as believing the mani jewel is colored when it really only appears as the colors temporarily. Once the color is let go of, the radiant, clear, and transparent nature is seen and known as the nature of the jewel. That is why I say that body and mind are illusory obstacles to seeing and knowing perfect enlightenment, which is your true nature. When you let go of your clinging and grasping to these, then you can call yourselves bodhisattvas. Illusions, body and mind, disappear. This clinging at, grasping at, is an idea of a self. An idea of a self disappears. Designation and labeling have ceased because there is no one. There is no one there to designate and label. There is nothing left to be named or tamed. The permeation of purity. Once all of the bodhisattvas here and all of the sentient beings of the Dharma ending age let go of these illusory images, they will know the perfectly pure, expansive, all-encompassing, boundless, open space-like nature of enlightenment. Because enlightenment is pure, perfect, and radiant, it draws in that moment and the perfect purity of one's own mind. Then a cascade of radiant purity ensues. As this mind is pure, so then are sights and sounds, what we taste and touch, thoughts and thinking. This very body is pure, the elements of earth, water, fire, and air, all pure. All things become pure. People, places, this very world, all worlds. All things were equal and changeless. Just as the vast expansiveness of space is the same at any spot, clear and all-pervasive and motionless, unmoving, so too is the fundamental nature of your very own awareness, perfect enlightenment. The nature of enlightenment is all-pervasive and pure and full, pure, clear, illuminating, unmoving, perfect, and boundless. All is it, and it is all. It is like hundreds of thousands of lamps illuminating a room. Their light pervades fully and is indestructible and clear. The fundamental purity and nature of enlightenment completely pervades everything, including everything without restriction. Even those things you consider impure or other than it, like the elements, the six sense doors, the six sense fields, enlightenment flows through and pervades them as well. Detachment and non-duality. Once a bodhisattva tastes this for themselves, they become free. They are neither bothered or hindered by mundane everyday things, nor do they seek to be free of them. They neither detest samsara nor love nirvana. They neither esteem those who follow the way, nor do they snub those that don't. Why? Because everything is a manifestation of pure, illuminating suchness. Everything is pure awareness. All of this is merely the free play of perfect enlightenment. It is like an eye with perfectly clear vision. It has no likes and dislikes. It just clearly sees what's in front of it. Why? Because the essence of this clarity is non-dual, free from like or dislike, attachment, and aversion. Sentient beings are originally perfect Buddhas. Once realization dawns, you will truly know that there is no causal connection between training and perfect enlightenment. There's nothing to attain because perfect awareness illuminates everywhere, arises as everything, is perfectly still, empty, and beyond duality. Even a billion Buddha lands are merely like illusory flowers in the sky, arising and falling. Worlds are neither the same nor apart from perfect awareness. Sentient beings have neither bondage or liberation. They are Buddhas. Samsara and nirvana fade like last night's dream. Birth, death, nirvana, samsara, all of these are like yesterday's dream. They neither arise or perish. They neither come or go. There is neither gain or loss, neither grasping or letting go of. Once actualized, realized, awakened, there is nothing to be done, nothing to allow, nothing to let be as it is, no thoughts to stop, and no afflictions to end. There is no longer subject and object. There isn't even awakening and one who awakens. Everything has the same indestructible nature. Bodhisattvas should train in this way, progress step by step in this way, ponder in this way, abide in this way, use skillful means in this way, and awaken in this way. When they seek this type of teaching, they will no longer be confused. Then the Buddha, in order to help clarify what he shared with the assembly, said, "Universal vision, know that the body and mind are like illusions. The body is the coming together and union of the four elements. The mind arises from the six sense doors. When the four elements disperse, who is left? If one practices gradual cultivation like this, all will be pure. Illuminating suchness, perfect enlightenment, is unmoving, yet pervades everything. There is nothing to be done, nothing to allow, nothing to let be as it is, no thoughts to stop, and no afflictions to end. There is no longer subject and object. There isn't even awakening and one who awakens. All Buddha worlds are like flowers in the sky. Past, present, and future are all impartially equal. Ultimately, there is no coming or going. If newly resolved bodhisattvas and sentient beings in the Dharma ending age seek to attain Buddha Bodhi, they should train in this way." Chapter 4, Bodhisattva Vajragarbha. Then Bodhisattva Vajragarbha rose from his seat and asked the Buddha, O world-honored one of great compassion, you have wonderfully shared to all the bodhisattvas the great dharani of the Buddha's pure, complete enlightenment, as in Chapter 1, the Dharma practice of the causal ground, Chapter 2, and the expedient methods of gradual cultivation, Chapter 3, so that sentient beings may finally clear away the illusory veils and all that clouds their vision and knowing of the truth. All those here have now begun to see clearly through the eye of wisdom. World-honored one, if sentient beings are Buddhas, why don't they know it? If they are Buddhas, why is there so much ignorance? And if they are ignorant of these things that the Buddha has shared, how can you say that they too are Buddhas? And if this ignorance arises later, then does that mean that you too would become ignorant and forget your own Buddha nature? Please let your great compassion flow and share your secret treasury of wisdom for the benefit of all bodhisattvas, so that all sentient beings in the Dharma ending age who hear the Dharma door of ultimate meaning of this sutra will forever be free of doubts and regrets. The Buddha answered Vajragarbha, saying, Excellent, virtuous Vajragarbha, you have asked the Buddha about the very secret and profound ultimate expedient methods which are the highest teaching for bodhisattvas and the ultimate truth in the Mahayana. These methods are capable of causing practicing and beginning bodhisattvas in all 10 directions and all sentient beings in the Dharma ending age to obtain the stage of grounded, resolute, unshakable faith so that they can permanently sever doubts and regrets. Listen attentively now. I shall explain it to you. All worlds begin and end, are born and die, have before and after, exist and do not exist, gather and scatter, arise and cease. Thoughts follow one another in succession, coming and going in a ceaseless circle, with all sorts of grasping and rejecting. These changing processes are all cyclic existences. To describe perfect enlightenment, and to understand perfect enlightenment with this small, grasping, samsaric mind, before you've transcended samsara, before you've let go of coming and going, birth and death, arising and ceasing, of course, will give rise to doubts, because the doubting, questioning, seeking mind's nature is samsara. It's like looking at still water while shaking your eyes. It's like staring at the whirling flame and seeing a circle. It's like believing the moon is moving because the cloud is moving, or staring at the shore believing that the shore is moving, but forgetting that you're sitting in a boat. In samsara, everything is moving. Everything is constantly changing. Everything is spinning round and round. The samsaric mind, that small, petty, grasping me mind, is the same. If you think you can discover or even glimpse perfect enlightenment with this mind, you will continually miss the mark. And that is the mind that has compelled you to ask these questions. Even ideas of samsara and nirvana are this clinging and grasping mind. In the perfect illumination of one's own wondrous awareness, there is neither samsara or nirvana. It is free, open, and endless like space or a clear blue sky. The clear blue sky is beyond grasping and clinging, beginning or end, coming and going. How much more so is the Buddha's complete and perfect enlightenment, vast, expansive, evenness like space. Attaining perfect enlightenment is like smelting ores to extract gold. The existence of gold is not caused by the smelting of ores. The extracted gold will never become ore again, because gold is indestructible for an immeasurable time span. One can't say that it wasn't gold before its extraction. Likewise is a Buddha's perfect enlightenment. In the wondrously completely enlightened Buddha mind, there is neither bodhi or nirvana, neither a state of Buddhahood to be attained, nor not attaining a state of Buddhahood. There is neither samsara nor non-samsara. Even by cutting off all karmic activities of body, speech, and mind, which is highly praised, will still not help you realize the nirvana you seek. To experience the liberation that was experienced and manifested by the Buddha, you will never realize perfect complete enlightenment with the small, petty, me thinking mind. It would be like a firefly trying to set ablaze and burn down Mount Sumeru. Now, I think that means no. No matter how hard it tries, it will never set the mountain on fire. One can never succeed in entering a Buddhist ocean of great nirvana by using the samsaric mind with its samsaric views. That is why I say that all bodhisattvas and all sentient beings in the Dharma ending age should first cut off the root of beginningless cyclic existence, the samsaric mind. All thinking, all conceptual thought, all contrivances about doing something arises from the small mind, which is conditioned by the 6 sense objects and dependent on one's energy flow. It is not the true mind, but an aspect of it that is like a flower in the sky. Trying to use this small, limited mind to discover and know the Buddha state is like a flower in the sky bearing fruit. It will never happen. You'll just be running around in circles, entangled in deluded thoughts, never to result in realization. The small, petty, cunning mind, with its multitude of clever views and opinions, cannot actualize the expedient means of perfect enlightenment. This mind and its questions are bound in a world of dualistic discrimination and doubt. The thoughts and questions raised by it will never help you and are not the correct way of awakening. Then the Buddha, in order to help clarify what he shared with the assembly, said, Vajragarbha, you should know the Buddha's perfectly tranquil nature has never had a beginning or an end. If you use the cyclic small mind, discursive thought just spins in circles, and at most you can reach the limits of the edge of cyclic existence, but you will be unable to enter the Buddha sea. It's like smelting gold ore. The gold does not exist because of smelting, yet crude gold from smelting, once subsequently perfected, never returns to the state of ore. Samsara and nirvana, worldlings and Buddhas, like sky flowers, are appearances. Discursive thought is just an illusory phenomenon. How can it break through illusion? Only after you fully know this mind can you discover perfect enlightenment. So that's chapter 3 and 4 of the Perfect Enlightenment Sutra. And so we'll contemplate on some of those thoughts today. About the non-dualistic mind, about getting past illusion. And I encourage you to perhaps contemplate those things in our shortened meditation tonight. We did go 23 minutes of reading those chapters, so we'll do 10 minutes of meditation. Well, let's do 15. Let's do 15 minutes of meditation. And then we will end tonight with the reading of the Bodhicitta prayer, as we always do. The Bodhicitta Prayer. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. Thank you for meditating with me tonight, and I hope you'll join me again tomorrow night.